Hi, welcome to Untrained Experts, where we weigh in on topics that we may or may not be experts on. And today's topic is moral dilemmas. I am Rama.
And I am Rafi.
And before we begin today's topic, I would like to explain on why we haven't been uploading for, 3 months, right?
Yeah, about
Yeah,
3 months.
3 months. Okay. To be honest, we were quite busy on school because new semester has been starting and we couldn't find the perfect time to meet up and record. And plus,
between all of the assignments.
between all the assignments, and plus, Malaysia is currently on lockdown again, so we can't meet. That's why we're doing this via Zoom. Okay, maybe Rafi, do you want to explain what moral dilemmas are?
Sure. So moral dilemmas are essentially situations where people have two choices that they can make. You have two options where they're both equally difficult, and you kind of have to sacrifice something. And you sacrifice whether it be your principles or your morals or something. In a sense, you are sacrificing something for sure. So now we're gonna have about 5 or 6 moral dilemmas that we've come up by ourselves, and also through some of our very good friends through Instagram polls. So if you would like to be a part of the future polls, do follow our Instagram page, which will be linked down below for future questions and polls. So I think I'll start with my first moral dilemma. This one is actually given to me by my lovely girlfriend. She posed a question, or like a dilemma, because recently with COVID, a lot of countries or rural areas, they have been facing a lot of shortages, whether that be for medical equipment or hospital beds or COVID ventilators. A lot of hospitals and areas have been facing big shortages. So the dilemma is, how do you decide how do you decide where those ventilators go? And in this scenario, do you pick a person who is a bit older or someone who's younger? What is the decision there? And I mean, obviously, most hospitals, their criteria is the people who need it most will get it first, obviously. But if that's already been, that's already been ticked off, what's next? Who do you actually pick where it goes? And that's a big question. And I feel like you have a lot of points for both, because they both deserve extra shot to live. And obviously I feel like this choice would have to be the last resort. You don't want to be in a situation where you have to pick who lives and who doesn't, right? That should the first point. Yeah, but that's not what
okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. But that's also, we're not here to discuss that, because we could do all that for hours. We could discuss what could happen, what should have happened, and so on. But in this sort of scenario, maybe it's biased to me being a younger person, but I feel like it should go to the younger people, for the younger people who still have a lot of potential, still have a lot of dreams, and still also has a lot of benefits, and whom also has a lot of things to offer to society. They should get priority at this point. That's just for me, because I mean, not saying that the older person is not important. They've not done everything that they have. They've lived lives where they have been beneficial to society, for sure. But I feel like in this case, it's tough. But
Okay, I have a follow-up. It's not really a question, but what if turns out okay, I don't think that's really, but what if the younger person turns out to be what, a convict or something?
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, in that sort of sense, it's still tough. It's still tough. But I mean, again, just because they're convicts or based on age
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or
true, true,
how
true. Uh-huh.
beneficial they are, yeah, that one is still something I would still struggle to deal with to
Hmm.
answer. I mean, all these dilemmas are tough.
Yeah,
All these dilemmas are still tough. But I personally, yeah,
hence they're being called
who knows?
dilemmas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the convict could still, be able to turn over a new leaf,
Yeah,
or the
but
older
I
person
agree though.
still lives 20 years. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you though, because I mean, it's not saying that elders are more expendables, but they've lived life, right? And like young people can still change, especially since they're the next generation of leaders and all that. So I think that's,
Right.
that has to be kept in your mind when you're picking decisions, whether
Yeah.
between elderlies and young people. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
true, true.
So, what's yours, Rami?
Okay, mine. Let's start with something that's not really that like tough. Let's start with,
Okay.
someone said this on my Instagram, but he told me not to say his name, so I would not be telling his name. Would you
Okay.
procreate with your mother if it means saving the human race from extinction? Now that, although that is the most, I don't know, it is conflict. There's a, it's kind of hard to
There's
answer because,
absolutely
yeah,
and
most
there's
definitely,
absolutely conflict of interest. Yeah.
because
Bro, is your mom?
yeah,
Chill.
and but at the same time, it's, if I were to, if you, I mean, straight up, I would say no, because besides that, it's my mom, but at the same time, we've been here since what? Since the Ice Age. Human has been here since the Ice Age, and it's pretty safe to say that humans are
Ages.
not the best and not the smartest uh, living thing in the world. So I feel like
Yeah.
it's safe to say that we've had a good run, and it's time for the world to have a new alpha in its entirety. Who knows? Maybe it turns out, uh, let's say dolphins evolve to something much more smarter than the
Could be.
humans, and they end up having prosperous life. They don't worry about politics and that stuff,
Yeah.
because we suck at
Yeah.
keeping the earth like safe and all.
Yeah. I
So
mean,
yeah,
greed's a hell of a thing, huh?
yeah,
So
that's why.
yeah. But I mean, personally, I would absolutely say hell no.
Yeah.
So
Okay, we're on the same
yeah,
page, basically.
definitely.
Okay, you've heard my
Yeah, for
reason.
sure.
What's your reason? Is it just
Yeah.
because that's your mother, or what?
Yeah. Well, obviously, yeah, that's
So
it.
it is.
And
It is
also,
because it's your mother.
yeah, and also, I mean, like you said, we had a great run.
Yeah.
So on to the next one. You feel me?
Yeah, I know that. Let's
On
not
to
be
the next
greedy and
chapter.
like just be the most alpha thing in the world. Let's give other
Yeah.
creatures
And
a
also,
shot.
the thing is, yeah, and also, you would also think you would kind of think about the sort of implications that, you know, if you choose to say yes for
Mm-hmm.
humanity,
Mm-hmm.
like the implications of like, your relationship with your mother, it would be not, it won't be the same for sure. Because,
That's considered as
yeah, I
right.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
yeah, to add to that, that most incest relationship ends up with like children who have some sort of disabilities, or um, they're
Right.
not perfect as, you know, normal humans. So that's a
Yeah,
consideration as well.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I feel like once you take that, yes, humans will be extinct, but also a big consequences will also come your way as well, like you
Hmm.
said.
Yeah. So what's
All right.
your, is there any
The next
other?
one.
Uh-huh. Go to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah. My second one is by my good friend, Aaron. Shout out
Okay.
to Aaron.
Shout
Um,
out, Sarah.
he gave me this scenario. Give me a
Uh,
scenario where you and your friends get arrested by the police, right? For
okay.
example, you
Oh, sorry,
you
sorry, sorry,
have
sorry.
to sorry, you're arrested on a crime,
Uh-huh.
and you are facing about 3 years in prison, right? 3 years in prison. So all of your good friends, um, they're all in there for 3 years in prison. So you have two options here. Do you sort of snitch on them? You cooperate with the police and snitch on your friends,
Mm-hmm.
and you leave. You just leave. You don't face any time, so you're just free to go. Or do you stay with your friends and like just be there? You know, ride it out, waste 3 years of your life in prison.
Okay.
You get that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, the crime could be anything, you know, like robbery, theft, whatever. But just that situation, that choice between your friendship and your trust with your really good friends, or do you choose freedom, your personal freedom, right? And honestly, this is a super tough question
Mm-hmm.
because, oh, I mean, personally, like if you have, I don't know, if you have friends that maybe still have a risk of running into the police, like if they find themselves in situations where that might actually happen,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like in real life,
Mm-hmm.
you might want to evaluate
Reconsider, yeah.
those sort of friendship. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because that's not a long road there, I feel. But
Yep.
yeah, but personally, I don't know. Ah, it's tough. This is honestly the question that the dilemma that I still am not really sure, because
Ooh, okay.
on one hand, right? On
Uh-huh.
one hand, you stay, but you spend 3 years of your life. 3 years, you could do so much in 3 years, right? And like I'm
Obviously.
19 right now. 19 to 22, you know, you can get uni done, you can get a job, you can work, you can do whatever. Or but when you stay for 3 years, you gain the respect of your friends and the trust of your friends and whatnot.
Okay.
But if you snitch, you're free to do whatever you want for those 3 years. You know, make it the best 3 years of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, after that, but your friends absolutely hate you. Like all your close friends, they don't want to see you anymore because you turned your back on them, right? But personally, I would do that. I would turn my back on them because my moral
Yeah.
thing is my moral thing is like like I love my friends, and no disrespect to any of them. I love my friends, but no, it's just that. But I know who my friends are. You know, I hope I pick wisely on my
Mm-hmm.
friends, because you know, if they make me be in that situation to choose, we're not friends anymore. Like to choose between the law and friendship,
Yeah.
for me that's a no-brainer. That's my morals. You know, I guess I mean I wasn't raised in the streets, I guess. You know, like I don't have that sort of no, for real, I don't have that sort of like street code or
Mentality,
whatever.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm taught on morals, laws, all of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So in my personal moral compass, I'm doing that. It's tough for sure, because bro, I love my friends, but in my from my morals, like if they get us in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
don't know if they're the best of my friends or not,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
If I
What are your
may like
thoughts? Yeah,
add a few things, I would agree with you most definitely because first of all, I don't mess with the law. Like
yeah,
I respect the law so much that I would
for
not
sure.
be breaking the
Like,
law. I might
I
bend the
mean,
law a little bit, but I would not break the law. So yeah,
yeah, like
and
you wouldn't. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, and plus, if you have friends that are, doing robbery or worse than that, murdering someone, that would be,
Yeah,
come on, you have to reevaluate your friendship with them, especially if they're
for sure.
bringing you into the mess. Like,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter if, for example, your friend is actually a thief, but he doesn't bring you with him. Like, he's just, okay, you
Right.
don't need to come. We can hang out as usual, but when I thief, and I'm not going to bring you like with me. I mean, that's
Yeah,
probably the like line
for sure.
where if it's crossed, then you have to reevaluate your friendship. So
Friendships. Yeah,
yeah, I agree with
because
you.
yeah, your personal morals, your principles, the
Hmm.
principles that you grow up on, that you build yourself on.
Yeah,
I don't think that should ever be replaced or
yeah,
be bended for people that bend
may
the
not
law
stick
or
around for that long.
yeah, who may not stick around. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So okay,
yeah. So
the
three for
next
three,
one.
we're still
Yep, this one's a bit tough. So
okay.
I got this one from the internet, not from my friends.
Okay.
So consider the scenario like this: you have a best friend. Say if I were sick, I was like, I'm 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 on my deathbed. I'm really sick, but I'm not dying yet. And I come to you, I approach you like, yo, Raf, I am so tired of being sick, but I can't do this on my own. Can you help me kill myself? Can you assist me in suicide? Now, the I guess the moral thing is, first of all, it's illegal to kill in your country, for example, and it is
Yeah,
it can't be
it's illegal.
justified no matter how hard you talk to the jurors, but it can't be
For sure.
justified. So you have to, oh my god,
Yeah,
you have to like ask, should I do this or not? Now,
yeah,
let me get to my answer. If you were to come to me and say, yo, uh, can you help me kill myself? If the scenarios, if you're already on your deathbed, I would probably do it. But at the same time, I would probably constantly remind you that there may be another way to do this. So I
right.
would do it in the end if you were still stubborn enough to, uh, you know, come to me regarding
Yeah,
that. But I would constantly remind you that there's another way to do this. There might be a cure. Who knows? So yeah, I guess in the end, I would probably do it. But at the same time, I would constantly remind you to tell you that suicide is not like the answer for
yeah,
stuff like this. So what about
yeah.
you?
Like no, I feel like in in a way, I agree.
Okay.
I agree on half of what you said.
Okay.
Definitely feel that that shouldn't be like the first thing, but
Mm-hmm.
like that shouldn't be the first option. In a perfect world, you don't want people to suffer through all these times, in really tough times on their deathbed, or they're going through like really tough like diseases and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a perfect world, and it sucks, but it's also hard to put yourself into their sort of
Choose.
perspective,
Yeah.
through their pain, through all of their struggles and everything. Like, I feel like in a way I can't, I would feel really strongly about making that decision for them, because in a way, if you say no, you're kind of giving them giving them what they don't want. Like, this, like maybe they just want to, just ask for peace, or, make
Mm-hmm.
things, deal with everything. But I don't know if, like, I could personally take it, because in my mind, I kind of I put the blame on a lot of things on myself personally. Like every little thing, like I feel like, I'll take responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, I'll take responsibility. And I feel like, if I were to go through with it, I don't know if my mind is strong enough to make myself believe that I wasn't the cause of the person's death, you
Oh,
know? So for that reason, I don't think I can do that. That's
okay.
so tough. And because assisted suicide is a bit more common nowadays,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Um, Especially with people who have terminal illnesses and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
So it's so tough. I mean, I genuinely can't even fathom, like, families of people who might have to take that decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, that was deep.
yeah, that yeah.
Okay. You got one question more, right?
Yeah, so this last dilemma is something that is kind of close to me personally,
Okay.
because I am I'm a soon to be, like, accountant or auditor, right?
Okay.
And this um, dilemma is always talked about, in textbooks, and also from my personal professor. She told me that, when she was an auditor herself, she has had to deal with this dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
So, this scenario is, you're an accountant for this firm,
Mm-hmm.
and you give the bosses the financial reports. For example, the profit is about like 500,000. Profit's 500,000. Pretty good. But
Mm-hmm.
they said, "Oh, could you, make some changes? Put some debt in other years. Be creative with the accounting. Find ways to make the profits look higher than it actually
Actually
is.
is.
For
Okay.
example, yeah. For example, he wants to make the profit at least 1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because why? Because one, make the shareholders happy, so it looks like they're profitable. Also
Mm-hmm.
for the banks and everything, for the banks to show that, to be approved for loans, stuff like that. There's a lot of reasons why,
Mm-hmm.
but that's it's cheating. You're
True. Yeah.
inflating your profits.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, yeah, my professor said that she's had to deal with this multiple times,
Whoa.
actually, in
Okay.
the different companies that she's yeah, the many companies that she's worked for
So this is actually
before.
pretty common.
It's pretty common. It's very
Okay.
common. And she says, um this is like, it's really textbook. It's a
Mm.
super textbook sort of dilemma in, your accounting or your
Mm-hmm.
auditing textbook, but it actually happens as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's the scenario. Do you go through with it? Do you actually help your bosses and everything? But
Okay.
you, in a way, if you get caught, you lose credibility, and uh, your sort of principles as an accountant are kind of tarnished, right?
Okay.
It's gone.
So what's your
But
answer?
do
Okay.
you not go through with it?
Mm.
But you may risk getting fired,
Fired.
right? Or do you risk getting fired,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you help them, or you get fired, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I would get fired. I
Duh.
would.
Okay.
Yeah, like duh. Because in oh yeah, for sure. Like I hope all of my fellow accountants or auditors have the same sort of thinking.
Standards.
Well, maybe it's because I'm younger. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm younger and I feel like it doesn't really matter. I can go company to company, it doesn't really matter. But I just feel like I don't know, I can't deal. I don't know if I can work in an environment where that sort of cheating or that sort of
Things happen.
inflation on profits is I don't know if that will work out, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
don't really want to work in that sort of environment.
Yeah.
And also in the long term, as I said, you know, if a scandal comes out and it shows that, you know, you were helping them to
Mm-hmm.
inflate their profits, you know, make them bigger, your actual career as an accountant, as a financial advisor, everything is gone because
Yeah.
people don't trust you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, that for me, that's absolutely no brainer. Like that's honestly the easiest question, the easiest dilemma. Yeah, for
Yeah,
real.
it
This is
is.
the
It is. It
easiest
is.
dilemma for
Because if
me.
I
Yeah,
may
like
add, I think it's also illegal to do those things, right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we
There's a lot
already
of
answered.
ethics.
Basically,
Yeah.
we already answered this one when we answered the "Would you snitch your friends?" Like we respect the law, so if we're not gonna if we're gonna
Yeah.
snitch on our friends, we're probably gonna snitch on our company.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
why.
yeah, yeah, we definitely just have personal morals and
Yeah.
principles that I feel like are the foundation of who we are, right?
Okay.
Whatever that may be, you know,
Hmm.
everybody will have different principles, you know,
Okay.
but just stick to that. Just stick to
Yeah.
that, you know.
Exactly.
If your principles say just do it, just fake it, then hey man, by all means, do your thing.
Do what you have to do,
It
man.
is, yeah, it is your principle. So,
Yeah, that's why. Okay. Coming to my last questions. Last question.
so the last question, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I got this from an interview that Stephen Colbert and Neil deGrasse Tyson had together. They were talking about, things that keep them up at night. And the question was, uh, is it better to know or not to know? Now, it might get confusing the question because think of it this way: is it better to know about the stuff that's for example, bad about something, or is it just better to not know and live with your life? Because I've known like a couple of people who are pretty, I guess, those can be considered as naive, that they don't think about their surrounding, but just as long as I'm living my life happily, I would
right,
not change it. Like I wouldn't figure out about what's wrong with the world or what's happening right now in the world, right? Now, so
yeah.
yeah, but before I answer my question, I would like to know your answer first.
Is it like in every situation? Every
Yeah,
situation,
in
right?
general, consider it as a
General.
general, yeah.
For me, oh, that's tough. Like, in a way, like I am carefree in sort of not carefree, but like there's certain information where if I deem it not interesting or I just don't think it's interesting, I just don't really care about it, right? But also, I do like to learn about a lot of things, you know, like the knowledge is just good. Is so I think in that case for me is just to know. For me, it's better to know
Okay,
in any situation. You know,
but
could
you
be
said
like
that there was I mean, if the what do you say, if the thing isn't really interesting, you wouldn't follow it.
yeah, and yeah, and so following that, I'll just get to know everything. But
Mm-hmm.
then all the stuff that I don't really care about, just put it to the side. You feel me?
Okay. But
Because you
what's up?
what's that?
No, no, no. Go ahead. You were
No,
talking.
you're saying?
No, you were saying something. Go ahead.
Oh, no, but like an for example, give a scenario. So, for example, you like just a simple like out of the blue, like you're in a relationship and
Mm-hmm.
your partner is like, for example, your partner is cheating on you, right? Would
Mm-hmm.
you like to know or would you not know? Like
Okay.
those sort of things that hurt, or like
Mm-hmm.
like have you been like lied to, or somebody's like betrayed you, in a business deal or something,
Mm-hmm.
or like stuff like that, like parts of your life, like would you like to or would you not like to?
Yeah. That's why
this
because
this question is extremely broad. It's extremely broad, but I feel like it's quite interesting as well.
yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, as I said before, there are some people that I know in my life who are those things considered arrogant because they're not willing to figure out on the things that are happening around them. Like I mean, they're just happy
And
with life, like at that state. I mean, not knowing about, I guess the broad thing are
yeah,
like, the things that you said, like, is your significant others cheating on you or not? Because I know some people who are like, nah, I won't think that deep. But
damn,
if I
yeah,
may answer the question, I would
go ahead.
probably say I'm giving a somewhat cheap answer because I mean I've seen the interview between
Come on.
those two people, but I agree with them because the thing is, if you know something, you can spread the information. I mean, to the people. I mean, if we're talking about something that's, for example, like politic or something, we're not talking about like is your girlfriend cheating on you. We're talking about something bigger. Like if
Yeah,
you know those kind of information, and I guess you have the not the obligation, but you have the
you have the power.
yeah, you have the power to share those information around to people. Like for example, what happened
Just
recently
benefit them.
in our own country. Like I did not know what was going on, to be honest, at first, and then some of my
Yeah,
friends happen to know more than I do, and they gave me the information that I needed, like to fully understand what was going on. And that's the kind of thing that is, I guess, makes people much more aware of
yeah,
what's happening around them. And there's this one quote
yeah,
that Neil deGrasse Tyson said in the end of the interview: "Be the supernova in the darkness of the cosmos," meaning that be the light in the darkness of the world. So in that way, you can spread the information that you know, which is cool. It's a cool quote.
yeah. Definitely,
Hmm.
definitely agree on that. Like, and for context, could you fill people in on what is the thing that was happening in Indonesia right now?
Okay.
Just for context, just brief.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go in too deep, but there's a problem in Indonesia where the people's house, right? DPR is people's house, right?
Yeah, the House of the Representatives, yeah,
Yeah, House of
Parliament
Representatives.
essentially.
They made a quite un. It's not really. They made a law. They passed a bill, which was really vague because it was made in the middle of the night. I don't know. It was agreed upon in the middle of the night, and there wasn't really any
Yeah,
draft to be like sent to the public, so the public knows what the thing is about, and then suddenly they just legalized it.
yeah,
I'm not gonna go into detail because I might get some like facts wrong. I don't want to do that. So maybe
yeah.
you can learn about it in the
But
internet.
it's
There's
about,
yeah, there's a lot of articles about that and papers around
yeah.
that.
Basically, it's essentially is about job creation,
Mm.
called omnibus law. And the thing that, if I'm not mistaken, was it got accelerated really quickly, like pretty much
Yeah.
overnight, right? Like you said, that's a lot of
And do
it
keep in
was just
mind that
made
we are
like
actually in the
just like
middle of
that.
a pandemic too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people are writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are writing.
Oh, by the way, the law isn't really called omnibus law. Omnibus law is actually a type of law that micromanages. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like,
Yeah, that's the
I think
name
it's
of
the
like the
best.
nickname
It's
for it.
what if yeah, if you just wanna, if you wanna like research on it, just
Mm-hmm.
type in omnibus law Indonesia. Yeah, get a lot of get a lot of
Information about
articles
it.
about it. So,
Yep.
yeah, for sure.
So maybe we
So
have
yeah,
one
big
more.
sidetrack.
We have one. We have a few minutes more for one more dilemma. Do you want to do it?
Um,
Do you have any more? Okay, sorry for that cut. We had to discuss something in the middle of that the podcast. Yeah, we have one more, and Rafi's gonna tell you what it is. But before he tells you, do keep in mind it has a spoiler about the game Last
Last
of
of Us
Us.
one,
Yeah, Last of Us One.
the
Yeah.
first one, which
So
was made
just keep
seven
that
years
in
ago.
mind. If you don't know the ending of Last of Us, first of all, where have you been? It was released what
True.
a few years back, right? So you must have known it by now. So, anyways, yeah, Rafi, you can go.
2012, 2013. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this dilemma is usually about the end, about the ending of Last of Us One. So if you remember correctly, in the hospital, in the university, sorry, Ellie got injured, right? Ellie got injured really badly, and they would just sent her to the university, or sorry, to the hospital where the
Mm-hmm.
fireflies were. And if I remember correctly, they were going to do surgery on her, like a procedure on her to get out an infected part of her brain,
Mm-hmm.
to find the vaccine, right? Because obviously, um, Ellie is immune to the virus or to the infection. Um, so they're just, for information, for research, and for vaccine, they need to remove part of her brain which is infected. But that also means it kills her. Now, Joel's decision in the game, and obviously as the gamer, the person who's controlling Joel, you have no other option. This is your only option. This is the ending that the developers want, the writers want you to
Mm-hmm.
have. Joel, after he finds out that Ellie is going to do the procedure, he fights his way into the hospital, right, into the hospital, and then he kills everybody. He kills the surgeon. He kills, you know, like everybody, all the nurses and the doctors as well. He kills everybody, and he lies to Ellie about what actually happened, because during all this time Ellie was, was already on anesthesia, so she
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what happened, and Joel just lied to her
Mm-hmm.
about what actually happened.
Okay.
Because the dilemma is, in Joel's perspective, you're in a post-apocalyptic environment, and you have this sort of adopted daughter of yours, because as we know, Joel's uh, real daughter died, right? Got killed because of and he had no choice,
Mm-hmm.
because by the government they made him, they forced him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now he had to pick between the vaccine for humanity or the chance at a vaccine. Not it's not a guaranteed vaccine yet, or to pick love, which is, like his daughter reborn in Ellie, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And he picked love. He picked his daughter, his adopted daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sort of scenario, I agree with him 100%. I agree.
Okay.
A lot of people like argue because like, oh, why would you do that? Because it's for the sake of humanity, for better for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Better for everybody. You get a vaccine and everything. But the reason why I pick Joel in this case is because vaccines take a lot of time, take a lot of tests and everything. So, you might, it's not 100%. Like I said, it's not 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what if you kill, she dies, Ellie dies because
Mm-hmm.
of the surgery. She dies. But you're unsuccessful at the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
You have two things that are dead now.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie and also the dream of getting the vaccine. So you're left with nothing. At least if you pick Ellie or your the love or your daughter, your adopted daughter, you still have one thing that you can hold on to.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, vaccine is gone, that chance is gone, but at least you have something to hold on to. And
Okay.
for me, no brainer right there.
Okay.
It's actually really controversial because yeah, people wanted a choice to choose between
Mm. Yeah.
letting Ellie die or just saving her. But what is your opinion on that? What is just that scenario? Sorry for the really long backstory.
No, no,
Had
no.
to
It's fine.
put into
The
that.
more detail we get, the more clear we can choose.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I would. Here's the thing. The thing that happens, the thing that's happening right now is probably more or less like that but the difference is in Last of Us we get to choose between. I mean, the choice was between love and humanity, but right now in this world that's happening right now, I guess the choice is more of a money, politics, and humanity because we can't even agree on the little things such as, for example, masks are important for people to use because they stop the spread of the virus. But safe to say that a lot of people are still debating on that, on whether or not it's actually useful or not. Then
Yeah.
again, that was actually just me ranting about because some of my friends. Okay, never mind. uh, but I guess the thing is, I
Another
would,
topic, mate.
yeah, I would
Another
actually
day.
maybe agree on. Actually, sorry, I would actually disagree on what Joel is doing was doing because
Really? Okay.
first of all, even though humanity has a long run that I said, we had a good, we had a good few years, but still this is something avoidable. This is something that can be avoided by extracting, quote unquote, the vaccine from Ellie. uh, but if we were to extract, it would cause her to die, correct? So I would actually just let them extract, even though I would like be, if I were Joe, I would be sad as hell, losing
Yeah,
like another daughter figure.
for
But at
sure.
the same time, we
Mm.
are helping other
Yeah.
people from experiencing the same as us, experiencing the
Yeah.
loss of a loved one, experiencing, for example, a loss of a
That's
family
true.
member or a best friend, or even maybe, I don't know, just another a stranger, So I guess
Yeah.
it's enough for me to feel the pain. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
inflict the pain to others. That's my uh, opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like we both have different answers because we look at it from different perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said you do it
Mm-hmm.
because you think the vaccine will work out. I said I
Yeah.
won't because I feel like it's still tough, but because in my idea is because if the vaccine won't work out, then you just lost two things.
Yeah.
Like I said, the
Mm-hmm.
vaccine and your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like also in the context of the game,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the actual surgeons um, were wrong as well. They could have avoided all of this dilemma, this the Joel's actions. Like
Mm-hmm.
they could have avoided their deaths. by actually just waking Ellie up
Okay.
and asking her what she wants. Like
True.
whether explaining to her, what what's gonna happen and what are
Mm-hmm.
the possible benefits, possible implications,
Mm-hmm.
so she can make the decision for herself. Right?
Yeah.
That's in the game, right? Because I
Exactly.
feel
Yeah.
like
True. True.
at the end of the day, what Joel did and what the surgeons did, to some extent, it's wrong because them taking them taking making the choice is wrong because they took away Ellie's right to choose
Yeah.
for
Mm-hmm.
herself,
Mm-hmm.
because she is the one that will get surgery done and will get everything
Oh.
done.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah.
you know they stripped that choice from her, and
Mm-hmm.
that sucks. But yeah,
But I mean, if we're looking at that through the lens that you said, I guess Joel is in the wrong too because Joel
yeah,
has the choice to, I guess, not in the game, but if the game was real life, Joel has a choice to wake Ellie up and then ask Ellie, "Yo,
it's
you have the
true for
vaccine.
sure.
I don't want you
Yeah,
to die, but you have a choice.
yeah,
Which one do you want?" Right?
but man's just rushed in there with a pistol and just pop out. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Still, it's just a game though. But that's actually
Yeah, but
a good dilemma.
yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I guess that's all the dilemma that we have.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, yeah,
yep.
thank you everybody for tuning in again, to our second episode of, this time on dilemmas, moral dilemmas. So yeah, thank you again to people who are watching on Spotify or on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Do follow our socials, our Instagram. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also follow us on Spotify, Untrained Experts.
Yep.
All of the links and everything will be down below. And thank you again for watching, and don't stop asking.
Peace.
Peace.